What is up, guys? We are back. I'm gonna do a different video this time around. We've been doing a lot of the React videos, been getting a ton of love. Thank you guys. I think we just hit 3,000 subs, or we're close to it. Thank you guys. Can't thank you enough. Seriously, it means a lot. This is my primary job right now, while some stuff's going on with my team here in Ukraine. So any support, and this, I want this to be my primary job always. I think I can support in a larger, I can reach a larger demographic doing something like videos like this. Anyways, my name is Saxon. I go by Vegas. I joined the International Legion for the Defense of Ukraine in January of 2023. I'm still in Ukraine. I'm no longer in the Legion. When I was in the Legion, went through the training, the combat training, and then we deployed to the front line. We spent a couple of months on the front line, holding trenches and, the fun stuff. Before I was in the Legion, I was a firefighter and an EMT outside of Fort Worth, Texas. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, I want to talk about multiple things in this video, but the main topic is going to be the state of the International Legion in 2024, because it is a much different organization than when I joined in 2023. When I was in the Legion and when I joined, we were one of the first battalions to graduate the boot camp, the basic combat training, right? There, things were very, very rudimentary as far as living conditions, as far as supplies. I mean, it was it was much different than from what I hear it is now. It sounds like there's things are much more squared away. There's a better command structure in place. It sounds like the training and the recruitment part of the International Legion has gotten a lot more structure than how I knew it in 2023. Okay, so these are positives. Great, good for the International Legion. Now, anybody who's been watching my content knows I'm going to be as transparent as humanly possible here, even if it gets me in trouble here in Ukraine or with the Legion, because this is a massive decision you are making to come fight in Ukraine, and you need to know every aspect of what you're walking into, bottom line. So something that is different than how it was when I was in the Legion is there are more Legion elements on the front line now. There's before there was only a handful. Now there's a lot more. And what's happening is a lot of these units are fighting with Ukrainian units. That's how the Legion works. You're always attached to a Ukrainian unit when you go on to an operation, a defensive op or an assault or something like that. You're always with the Ukrainian unit. Now what I'm noticing happening with the Legion is these Legionnaires who are fighting with these Ukrainian units, they've been doing it for long enough now that they're absorbing. They're becoming one Ukrainian unit, not Legion unit. The Legionnaires take a bunch of losses, the Ukrainian unit takes a bunch of losses, and then to fill their numbers, they integrate into one unit, and it's the Ukrainian unit. They don't integrate into the Legion. So that's something that's different. That was not happening when I was here. The Legion was very much separate, at least on paper, than the Ukrainian units. Even though you're contracted in the defense of the Ukrainian armed forces, you're still technically a Ukrainian soldier on paper, right? There was a pretty solid line drawn, right? There was different command structures, and now it's a lot more integrated, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, right? Maybe it makes things more streamlined because you're not going through multiple different commanders. I don't know. I haven't been out there under this new kind of structure that they're working on, but I will tell you the structure we were working on back then was not extremely efficient. So it's hard for me to imagine it getting much worse. I'm hoping it's better. But one thing that we know for a fact is there are a ton of Legionnaires dying and getting wounded. Okay? I'm not to say this is the Legion's fault or the leadership of the Legion. This conflict is extremely brutal. There are so many ways for you to get hurt or die out on the front. Right? It's not, it's not like, at least what I grew up watching in the Middle East, right? There's IEDs, you've got maybe your occasional Taliban ambush or a sniper or something, or a pop shot by an RPG. No, it's nothing like that out here. And anybody who has experience in both fields, I was not in the Middle East. I had no military background before Ukraine. But I challenge you to ask somebody who has done both. They will tell you this is a completely different conflict. This is a much different level of danger. Not to take anything away from the veterans that, they're absolutely heroes. The soldiers that fought in the Middle East and fought in Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, all that stuff, right? It's just different. But I digress. I went off a little bit there. So the state of the Legion is definitely changed, right? It's not my place to say for better or for worse. I know for a fact there's more people getting injured and dying, but this could just be the general evolution of the conflict. The Legion's been around longer, so it's going to have more casualties and deaths and KIAs, as opposed to when I was there and the Legion had only been around for a handful of months, right? Okay, moving on from that, now there is two different International Legion sections. It's split into two, right? You have the International Legion for the defense of Ukraine, which is infantry. You're doing shit like this. You're holding trench lines. You're making sure you don't get pushed by the Russians. You're in very close proximity. You sit in these boondashes or these bunkers, and you just take enemy artillery and enemy fire day in and day out. Day in, day out. It's very much a numbers game. The longer you're out there, the more likely you are to get hit because there's just constantly mortar and artillery fire. You can see this wooded area that I'm standing in here. This was a complete forest line. A posadka is what they call it. A long strip of forest that divided up farmland. As you can see, this is all gone. This has all been shredded by every type of munition you can think of. I'm not even going to list them all because everything. Look at, you could see the snapped branches, twigs, everything's gone. So this is the International Legion for the defense of Ukraine. Now there is the International Legion of GER. It's the International Legion, still under the same flag, under the same banner, but of GER. GER is what they consider to be the intelligence or the kind of the special forces aspect of the Ukrainian armed forces. So this will be your higher speed, tons of military experience, maybe, special forces guys, your ex-SEALs, your ex-Rangers, your ex-MARSOC. This is going to be their side of the Legion. GER is what it's called, GUR. This is primarily very small units. They do not operate always with a Ukrainian unit. Maybe they'll have a couple of Ukrainians with them, attached to them, but it's not like the first, like what I was in, the International Legion, the infantry side, where you got 5 legionnaires attached to a platoon of Ukrainian soldiers, which is roughly 27 soldiers. When you're looking at GER, you're looking at 5 to 6 highly trained, well-trained soldiers with maybe 1 or 2 Ukrainians attached for communications, translating, whatever, sapper, whatever it may be. Okay, so very different. And this was absolutely not a thing when I was in the Legion. GER, GUR, has always been around in the Ukrainian armed forces, but it was never under the banner of the Legion, right? It was just a section of the Ukrainian armed forces that was special forces, right? It was your high speed guys. Now it's still that, right? It gets confusing. That the Ukrainian armed forces still have their own GER, but now the International Legion has GER as well. Okay. You're much more aggressive, much more. I mean, you're going to be on way more assaults as if you're in the GER. It's absolutely going to be. I'm willing to say it's definitely more dangerous, right? You are not only are you operating across the enemy line, across the zero line, but pretty far beyond that zero line, right? We're talking sniper operations, anti-armor ops. Okay, so anyways, this is a huge change in the Legion from when I was around. And that kind of covers the biggest things as far as the major changes. There is a lot of leadership changes, from my understanding, in the International Legion. A lot of commanders have been found lacking leadership capabilities, lacking experience, lacking empathy for their troops, and they've been kicked out. Some of them have been jailed, some of them have been killed. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but there was a Ukrainian commander killed by his own guys because of the way he was treating his soldiers. Also, a lot of command changes in the Ukrainian armed forces in general, but also in the Legion. For better or for worse, I don't know. That's something that you're absolutely going to have to you're going to have to experience on your own if you do plan on coming. Okay, but it's something to keep in mind. So I have many people hit me up in the emails asking for advice. How do you get to Ukraine? What's the best way? Who do I talk to? Where do I join the Legion? All kinds of stuff. I know multiple commanders or team leaders out here who are looking for soldiers to fill different positions, whether it be, intel, communications, riflemen, mortarmen, you name it, support weapons. So if you are interested and you're looking for a team, shoot me an email. I'll give you my signal and we'll chat on Signal, and hopefully I'll get you in touch with some people to get you in the right area. Anyways, somebody who reached out to me, they're on their way in a couple of months here to Ukraine. They received an acceptance letter from the International Legion, and that is something that I wanted to pull up here so we could all kind of go through what that acceptance looks like, and you'll see what I'm talking about right here. So let's pull it up. The very first part is the page 1. You can see this is page 2. Page 1 is how to get into Ukraine, where you go to meet. For OPSEC reasons, I'm not going to show that on here, just in case, right? You, like I said, feel free to hit me up and I'll give you exact directions of where you need to go. So let's move on to here. Entry testing. Our entry procedure consists of several disciplines which proceeds simultaneously: medical checkup, paperwork. Okay, so medical checkup, this will be similar to your MEPS if you were in the military, or in the Army or Marines. Basically, you take the day, your commanders will drive you and your guys to a military base where they have some doctors on site. The doctors will tap on your knees, tap on your elbows to give you a little vision test, hearing test. It's nowhere near as stringent or strict as the U.S. military. I went through MEPS with the Marine Corps and the U.S. Army when I was younger, when I was considering going into the United States military. It's nowhere near as strict, right? You got to remember, these Ukrainian doctors and these Ukrainians want you to fight for them. So unless you roll up there missing, half your head or an arm is dangling off, they're going to accept you, right? They're going to see past some of the minor things. They want you to get out there in the fight, which is twofold benefit, a pro and a con. A pro because if you have something minor that may have got you kicked out in a military, in a Western military, they'll probably let you through in this. Okay, but at the same point, if you have like bad vision or something, they may still let you through. So make sure you've got your glasses or your contacts, or make sure that you're covering your own ass here, because they may not stop you if you do have something that will make you combat ineffective. They may not catch it, okay? Paperwork, personal information, pictures, emergency contact, next of kin, Ukrainian bank account, government registration. Okay, so we did this probably 2-3 weeks into basic combat training. You go get your pictures taken for your military ID. Of course, you have to write out a little will and, give your emergency contact, your mom, your dad, your grandma, whoever. And then you go open up a Ukrainian bank account, because this is where the Ukrainian Armed Forces is going to send your paychecks. It's direct deposit. I believe it's the 15th of I believe it's bi-monthly, 15th and the 30th of every month. At least it was when I was there. Again, that sounds like the payment also sounds like it's been better structured than when I was here. We waited 3-4 months sometimes before we started getting paid when I was there. Sounds like that's not really the case. It's a lot more on schedule, the payment. Background checks. This is another one where they're not going to be anywhere near as stringent as the Western military, right? Because they want you to come fight. So, from my experience and understanding, as long as you have no too violent of an offense or a felony, or any sexual felonies, sexual assaults, rape, anything like that, they will not let you in with that. They will not let you in with big felonies like like of course like murder or something like that. They're not going to let you in, right? I don't even know how you would have gotten out of prison to come here after murdering someone, anyways. But anyways, so I've had a few people message me in my emails, hey, I got a DUI when I was younger. Hey, I got in a bar fight when I was younger, and I got an assault charge. You're gonna be fine. They're not gonna give a shit about that. Physical fitness test. So many people ask me about this, and this is perfect. This gives you an idea. This is not special forces selection. Okay, 24 push-ups in 1 minute. This is a requirement. This is important. You should be able to do this. 24 sit-ups in 1 minute. Yes. 4 pull-ups in 1 minute. Yes. They will be having you do all of these in full kit. You'll have your helmet. You'll have your plate carrier. You'll have mags in your plate carrier, most likely fully loaded. So if you're going to practice any of these things, put some extra weight on you. You know what I mean? Put your dog on your back or something. 12 minutes of continuous running without walking or stopping, minimum of 1,500 meters. This is, in my opinion, the most important part of any of this. I've seen some absolutely jacked, ripped guys come through, and they can run about 13 meters, and they're just gassed. And I may be referring to myself as far as one of these guys who just got winded so quickly. And then you got the Ukrainian guys running like 10 laps around the track while they're smoking cigarettes. Fucking, these guys are actual different breed. But definitely get a pack on and go walk around your park, go take a hike or something, get your stamina, get your endurance up with heavy gear on. When you go on to an operation, you're going to be carrying so much shit. I can't stress this enough. I believe at one point I had my rifle on me. I had 12 or 15 magazines, 30 rounds in each, a backpack full of grenades. I had 40 mic with a bandolier of 40 mic rounds. I had an AT launcher, right? All of this shit on my kit, let alone I've got my plate carrier, my helmet, and anything else. If somebody else needs you to carry some extra ammo for the machine gunner or something, that's another thing. You've got extra ammo in your backpack. It's heavy. It's heavy as shit. Definitely get your agility or your stamina up with heavy weights. Obstacle course to assess your agility, balance, coordinations, and other aspects. This was kind of in development when I was there, but it's nothing too crazy. Think of a jungle gym when you were a kid. Okay, monkey bars, back and forth in between cones. Some, I think we called them suicides. You run down, you tap the ground, you run back, tap the ground, or Oklahomas. During this time, you are housed in our entry barracks. Our instructors will already commence working with you, and you will be given evaluation tasks. Living conditions are deliberately basic. There is running water and electricity. It is warm and waterproof. There is no enemy artillery fire, no mines, no dead bodies. Consider it a first step towards adapting or readapting to military life and to the frontline conditions. That's fair. I will say the shittiness of the barracks when I was there actually made the front line look like where I was living in the front on the front look like a fucking a Hyatt, a nice hotel, right? Because it was rough. We had probably 60 people, 60 people, towards the end of my stay at the barracks. We had one working toilet, and it really wasn't even working all that well. There's no actual toilet, just a hole in the ground, and we built like a wooden seat, so you get splinters in your ass every time you go take a shit. There's no shower, nothing like that. Sounds like it might be different. I don't know. Get ready for some tough living conditions in the barracks. During this time, you are free to give up at any time. Failing or abandoning the testing procedure automatically leads to exclusion for some time. This can range from the duration deemed necessary to obtain the necessary fitness, okay, blah, blah, blah. So basically they're saying, if you realize during this it's not for you, there's no shame in going home, okay? And that's the truth. We had a lot of people during this time period realize, hey, this is really fucking dangerous. It's even dangerous out, during training here, let alone going out to the front. They realize, hey, this isn't for me. No shame. It's better you figure it out now than when you get to the front line, okay? Let's move on to number 3. I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm going to try to fly through these. Contract, minimum of 6 months service. This is different than when I was in. The contract has maximum duration of 3 years, but this has little significance. You will be free to lengthen it should it expire. Okay, 6 month minimum. There was no minimum when I was here, so I believe I was a little over 4 months, and I broke my contract. Okay, training. You can only sign our contract and commence basic Legionnaire training after successfully completing all entry tests. Basic training with 4th Battalion is currently 5 weeks. It covers all aspects of general military frontline work. There will be some specific training when you join your combat unit as well. Be aware the training period is short. It is important that you prepare yourself as best you can, specifically on working, living, and marching in combat gear. Between your body armor, helmet, weapon, ammunition, and other gear, you will permanently have 25k on your person while at the front line. Add another 25k or kg in backpack supplies. Okay, I kind of covered this, right? But this gives you a number. This is great. Start immediately at home. Use a backpack or weighted gym vest. Build up weight, build up time and distance you spend carrying it. You will not be allowed to go to the front line without completing the training, regardless of whether you have military experience or not. Great. This is actually really cool. Take a screenshot of this or something. This, like I said, is absolutely the most important part of the physical fitness, in my opinion. Because you're right. When you wake up at 3 a.m. on the front, and you got to go piss, you got to put on all your fucking gear just to walk out in your back door and go pee. I thought that was pretty silly until my platoon commander, I'm sorry, he was our company commander, was killed in the front yard of his safe house on the front line. So definitely get ready to live in that gear. Okay, let's move on. Contract training. We did this one. Let's go here. All right, this is cool. This was definitely not a thing when I was in the Legion. So it's showing you equipment, standard land force soldier equipment you will receive according to summer winter. So this is your issued gear. This is what they will give you. Hat, boonie, beanies, summer uni, fleece thermal. I wish I had that when I was there. Waterproof uniform, U-backs, tack gloves, winter gloves, summer, okay, some balaclavas, t-shirts. Okay, cool. So this is what you will be getting. And if you're watching this video now, you're looking at winter. It's cold as shit out there, guys. I was there over the winter last year. It's cold as shit. I can't stress it enough. Make sure you wear layers. Make sure you get good quality, warm gear. All right, let's move on. Nope. Okay, here we go. We are also issued this stuff. Underwear. I still have my underwear. Body underwear, socks, winter boots, good boots. These summer boots are nice. Polos, slippers, backpack, belt, ballistic eyewear, earplugs. Good stuff. I didn't get some of this stuff, but I wasn't there in the summer, so maybe that's why. But I did get the warm stuff for the winter. Let's go here. Oh yeah, okay, this stuff's important. Your bed mat, your sleeping roll right here, you bring this everywhere with you, including to your position on the front line, because you will be staying there, multiple hours at a time, especially if you're taking enemy fire, which you absolutely will be. You're going to be there for a long time. So you want to use this to get off the cold ass ground, or if there's snow or if there's water, you want to use this. I lost mine my first mission and I regretted it. Sleeping bag they give you this big duffel bag. That's where most of the shit is going to go into. Kettle, helmet here. I recommend getting your own helmet. This looks like an actual decent helmet right here, but I did see some older ones issued when I was out there, you're definitely going to want in my opinion, you're going to want your own. Something that you're more comfortable with, maybe a little bit higher quality, but maybe that's changed. Maybe that's changed. Elbow and knee pads, at least knee pads, extremely important. Otherwise, you will have raw knees, especially if you're patrolling. You know, you move a couple hundred meters, you're down on a knee. A couple hundred meters, you're down on a knee. It's gonna get raw, and you're gonna hate putting any pressure on that knee. Get knee pads. Level 4 plates, very important. Level 4, guys. A lot of you guys know Tex. He was hit a few months ago. He was shot 5 times by a PKM, which shoots 7.62 rounds. His plate carrier ate up 3 of those rounds. I'm sorry, 2 of those rounds. It split his plate carrier like this, like completely folded in like that. But it completely stopped 2 rounds that would have been fatal. The other ones went through his shoulders, side, whatever. Get level 4, or sometimes out here they call it 3++, because you're not legally allowed to ship level 4 plates. So they call it 3++ to give it, get by that red tape. 3++ or level 4 for sure. Oh, what do they call these? Gators or waders? Basically covers for when you're in the mud, you're walking through rainy and snowy and wet trenches. This will attempt to keep your feet and legs dry. I saw a lot of people wearing these, and then I saw a lot of them losing them in the mud because the mud is so sticky. But I would still recommend bringing them, honestly. Okay, moving on. We went through that. Let's go here. Okay, we went through that. All right, gear recommendations. While in basic training, only a minimum of gear is issued. Your issued gear will be completed as you get closer to combat duty. Therefore, if you have any gear, it is good to bring it. If you do not have any gear, you can make do with what is issued. In general, there are no restrictions on what you are allowed to use in the combat battalions, as long as it is high quality and in camouflage colors. Khaki tints, brown tints, multicam patterns. No black, guys. No pitch black. It stands out, and at night stands out in day. Outside of a few items detailed below, we advise not to spend a lot of money before coming here. If you want to replace some of the issued gear, you are able to obtain everything in country. Do so only after you tested out what is issued, have seen what our veterans use, and find out what system works best for you. Must bring footwear, boots, yes, ear protection. Get I don't have any here, but get some active earmuffs. And what I did too is I even had earplugs, especially if we were, going out. We were doing live fire training or just zeroing our weapon or rifles. I would wear earplug and put my my active ears over it. Protective glasses. I did not have any of these, but I'm sure, especially with how much shrapnel and fragmentation and just bullshit is out there, especially on the front when you're taking arty or mortar fire, you want your eyes covered 100%. The amount of people I see out here just walking the streets with eye patches on is absurd. Strongly advised, 3-day pack, not always issued in good quality, especially in training. Get a high quality military 3-day pack. Use it also to start training at home. You need a backpack to travel here anyways. Yeah, good idea. I've got a day pack that I use. I've been using the same one for 2 years. Well, that doesn't fucking work. It's just one of these guys. Wow, that's... Oh, you can see a little bit better back here. Bug out bag, day pack, whatever you want to call it. This is a 3-day pack is going to be bigger than that. I mean, I can't stress enough how much shit you're going to be carrying on you. A 3-day pack, just in my opinion, seems like it's going to be just too much shit. But hey, I mean, whatever you think is best on this one, in my opinion. I did just fine with this day pack. Other people had bigger bags, whatever. IFAC, definitely get an IFAC, a good one, a good quality one. Make sure it's Read the reviews on, like, for example, if you get one off of Amazon, be careful, read the reviews on it, make sure it's good quality ingredients or products inside of it. Recommended regarding clothing: 6 to 8 quick drying sport shirts, 6 to 8 pairs comfortable socks, 8 pairs of comfortable underwear, 2 large quick drying compact towels, beach flip-flops. Flip-flops will be important just for walking around the barracks. You don't want to wear your combat boots, and you don't want to wear nothing, because it is so disgusting in those barracks. You will get fucking gout or something. Thermal clothing, absolutely. Get thermals, get thermals, get thermals. Sportswear, you have to wear your uniforms no matter what, so I don't know what the point of this is. Even during your PT in the morning, you still got to put on your uniform. So civilian clothing, yes, it is important to have civilian clothing. In the training barracks, they will let you out on the weekends. If you've been good during the week, if you fuck up, they will take your weekend privileges away. But if you've been solid, doing all your shit, they'll let you out on the weekends. You go to the strip clubs, the bars, restaurants, get a hotel. You can't go out in camos, not when you're a legionnaire. Once in Ukraine, you can buy everything you need: basic hygiene, other personal items you may want to bring, such as ebook, portable console. Yeah, get some shit for the barracks. Bring I just got somebody a Switch recently, a Nintendo Switch. Make sure you've got a bunch of movies and shows downloaded on your phone or whatever you're gonna bring with you, because you may not always have internet. Make sure it's downloaded. This is getting long, you guys, but I feel like this information is really important, so I'm just gonna keep going. Okay. You can buy protein powder and vitamin pills here. During training, you will have vitamins, guys. I was the medic, right? When we were in training and when we got to the front, but vitamins are so important just because of how many people are going to be in such a tight spot from different places all over the world, different germs, different bacteria, everybody's sweating, that you're not going to get a shower, like I told you. You're wearing dirty clothes. You got to wash your clothes, hopefully on the weekend if they let you out. Make sure you're just eating a shit ton of vitamin C and zinc and vitamins that will help your immune system fight off all this gross shit you're going to be around. Cash, it's always a good idea. Nobody's going to take USD out here, so you got to get it changed to Hryvnia. The exchange rate's phenomenal. You get, for 100 USD, you're damn near, it's like almost $1,000 out here, so equivalent. You can buy everything on the list here in Ukraine. Your priority now is to keep us informed when you will arrive in the country. Let us know the exact date. Remember, your arrival approaches. Remind us 2 to 3 days before you arrive. Keep in mind, we're expecting you around the approximate date you mentioned in the interview. All right. That was cool, man. So this entire thing, there wasn't even an application when I first came into the Legion. You just had to show up in person. So now this is what I meant at the beginning of the video. It's much more structured. That's all really cool stuff that they showed you, like what you'll actually be issued, and it's very accurate. Like I said, that's all stuff that, for the most part, that I was issued. After basic, you go to a big base close to the front line, you get your shit, and then you deploy. I will say things that I would get: my own plate carrier. Get your own plate carrier. I would recommend getting your own plates, just so you know for a fact you're getting level 4, and a helmet. Other than that, things like thermals for the winter are going to be invaluable. It's going to be very, very important to have. You can see here, that jacket was white initially, this one. It was like it was lighter. It wasn't white. It'd be stupid to wear white out there. At that time, my pants are all muddy, gross. These are Ukrainian issued boots right here. These are Ukrainian issued winter pants, very warm, but I still had 2 sets of thermals underneath this. That's it, guys. Well, this video was longer than I meant for it to be, but Like I said, I think this is all really good stuff, and I get a ton of questions about this stuff. Finally got my hands on one of these acceptance letters that really breaks down what they're expecting if you do get accepted. So please like, share, subscribe. Thank you guys for all the love on the videos lately. For real. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.